Hall Pass, the Virgin Islands Department of Education's exciting new talk show highlighting all things education. I'm your host, Jure Ford. Today we have an exciting show lined up for you. We are focusing on student achievement and have pulled together really bright and talented students who recently participated in the district spelling bee and math counts competitions. Additionally, we have some folks here from the St. Thomas St. John district who will give us some insight into these two big competitions that were held each year in the St. Thomas St. John and St. Croix school districts. But first, we're going to go to Amari Graham with this week's events.
Thank you, Jure. Hello, it's Amari Graham here, back with your weekly rundown. 4 deserving high school athletes, Rhea Benjamin at CAHS, Deshani Blake at Ken, Akil Emmanuel at CHS, and Zion Jones, also at CHS, has been selected to participate in the Emerald Gems Foundation and Basketball Enrichment Program with the Minnesota Timberwolves. The students will attend the special training from February 28th to March 6th in the Twin Cities area. Congratulations, guys. We know you make us proud. You won't want to miss Fashion Easter, the Department of Education's fashion fundraiser to benefit music education and reading initiatives in our schools. It's happening on St. Croix Sunday, March 13th at the Complex Auditorium and on St. Thomas Sunday, March 27th at the BCB Auditorium. Showtimes are at 3:30 p.m. See education and public officials, teachers, students, and more hit the runway for a good cause. Tickets are on sale now. For more information, visit vide.vi.com. 7th and 8th grade public school students on St. Croix and St. Thomas last week enjoyed information sessions with representatives from the Johns Hopkins Center for Talented Youth, also known as CTY. Students who qualify for this unique program will gain access to summer and online courses, academic counselors, and family learning adventures. CTY specializes in recognizing and developing students' academic talents. Well, that's it for me this week. I'm Amari Graham, and see you here next week on The Rundown. Back to you, Jure.
Thanks, Amari. First, I have with me Varun Punjabi, an 8th grader at the Antilles School and winner of the St. Thomas St. John District Spelling Bee. He is also a part of the district's top 10 mathletes from Antilles and Peter Grover International Academy, who will compete in the territorial math counts competition later this month. Next, we have Brianna Eli, an 8th grader at the BCB school and a participant in the district's recent immediate spelling bee competition and also in math counts. Also joining me is Calamus Maduro, elementary programs coordinator, and Yvonne Benjamin, math coordinator, both from the St. Thomas St. John district. A little later in the show, we will have some footage from the 43rd District Spelling Bee on St. Croix, featuring the winner, Kayeen Donawa. Welcome, everybody, to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Now, before we get started, I think I need that hall pass. Thank you, Varun.
No problem.
So I just want to jump into it. I mean, you are a man that just does so much. Let's just start. How was your experience in the spelling bee and math counts competition?
Well, I felt really good doing it because they're two things that I really like. They're like two of my favorite subjects at school. I do really good at them, and it's just something that I enjoy doing. So it was really great experience. And
so, what did you do to prepare for these competitions? I mean, you had both going on almost around the same times. What'd you do?
Well, first of all, I had to adjust my schedule a little bit, so I had to like get fitted in with homework and studies. So, and also I went on computer and I did many practices for both spelling bee and math counts to prepare for it, because I wanted to make it to the next level because it's my last year, because I'm going to be in high school next year, and I wanted to take it all the way this year.
Oh, and so you did. Mm-hmm. So congrats.
Thank you.
And then I'm going to turn to Miss Brianna here. And how was it preparing for both competitions for you?
It was very fun and educational because it was also interesting. Mm-hmm. I learned different things, new formulas, new words that I could use in my daily life and in my future life.
Okay. And so tell me about the spelling bee. How was that experience, just being up there on the stage, ready to spell your heart away?
It was very interesting. And it was different for me because I did spelling bee as I was younger. But this time it was much different because I had different spelling, different words, and I learned how to study for it and practice for it, such as going on the internet and looking up the language of origin and the different pronunciations for the words.
Okay, good. Well, you guys seemed like you were busy these past couple of weeks, huh?
Yes.
Okay, so I just want to, get into how was it winging? How was it actually getting and achieving what you studied so hard for?
It felt really good because I've been working for this for math counts. It's been since 6th grade. I didn't make it on a team in 6th grade for my school, and in 7th grade I did. I just didn't qualify. And on Tuesday, I was really scared because I thought that I didn't do so good. But then when I realized I made in the top 10, I was really happy. So it just felt really good taking that trophy home and that pride. And spelling bee, I've been working for this since 4th grade.
Wow.
And I didn't come in it, but in 6th grade through 8th grade, I've been coming 2nd place, 3rd place, and then 1st place. And my teacher told me, she's like, you just need to come in the top 6 to move on. I told her I wanted to win, and I won. And I was really happy about it, and she was really happy about it too. And my mom as well.
That's
my
good.
dad.
You seem to have gotten a lot of support.
Yeah.
Right behind. So I want to do something really quick, like maybe a lightning round spelling bee, if you guys are ready. Now, I'm not going to do anything fancy with the origin of the words and this and that, but just do your best. Let's just have some fun with it. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Farin, beleaguer, and it means to surround with troubles.
Beleaguer. Beleaguer.
And you got it right. Okay, Brianna, hemorrhage.
Hemorrhage. Hemorrhage. Hemorrhage.
Oh, close. Farin, nonchalant.
NON.
Oh, and nonchalant means unconcerned, unexcited.
SCHELANT.
That's chalant. And then you just need the NON, and
Yeah.
you got it. And then Brianna, rambunctious, difficult to control or handle.
Rambunctious. RUMBOCTIOUS.
So close. But you guys were closer than if I even tried to type it on my Microsoft. So let's give it up. Come on, let's give it up for them. That was really good. Thank you guys. You guys are both winners. Because let me tell you, I watched you guys both at that spelling bee. Those were some tough words. I mean, I didn't even know some of those words existed. So congrats. And now let's take a look at Arthur Richards, an 8th grader, Kyan Donovan, who is going to be at the spelling bee. Let's check out the film.
Your word is commandeer.
Repeat the word, please.
Commandeer.
May I have the definition?
To take arbitrary or forcible possession of.
Origin.
This word is from Afrikaans, which formed it from a French word.
Sentence.
Arwen felt it necessary to commandeer the TV remote from her sister.
Repeat the word, please.
Commandeer.
Commandeer. COMMANDEER. Commandeer.
We have a winner! The winner of our 2016 District Spelling Bee is Mr. Kyan Donovan from the Arthur Richards Junior High School.
Great job all the way from Hal Pass. Congrats, Kyan, who, by the way, has been competing in spelling bees since the 4th grade and has been a consistent district winner. So great job. And now I want to get into our two guests at the end. Calamus, I'm going to start with you. Can you share with us the importance of these competitions like Spelling Bee?
Well, they're very, important. When we ask children to speak or even write, students usually write how they speak. So when we teach them new words and, just like they learn the spelling, they also learn the origin and the definition of the words, they can actually use them in sentences and in their vocabulary on a day-to-day basis. So that's definitely the importance of the bee itself.
And how many students were competing in this bee?
Well, this year in the intermediate spelling bee, because I think it's important to, let everyone know that there are two different spelling bees, and these two were in the intermediate spelling bee since the 4th grade. So the intermediate spelling bee is 4th, 5th, and 6th graders, and this year there were 18 participants, if I'm not correct. I'm actually here representing Miss Nursine Davis, who's the language arts coordinator, and she actually coordinated this bee.
Okay. And then I'm going to head to you, Yvonne.
Yes.
Why is it important for students to compete in competitions like the math counts?
Any academic competition, whether it's a spelling bee, math counts, the geography bee, gives students who are really excited, have a passion for learning, for being challenged. Mm-hmm. It gives them opportunities to mix with other children with the same type of zeal and passion for learning, and it fosters the type of things that we would want them to see, not just for now as students, but even in their academic careers throughout the rest of their lives.
So it's more than just spelling
words.
It's more than just doing math problems.
Exactly.
It's to further them, not just socially,
Exactly.
mentally, critical thinking.
Right.
Yeah, we're creating the whole child.
Educating and creating the whole child. I love it. Mm-hmm. And so then I want to ask both of you, what's next for our bees and our mathletes? Are there any competitions coming up next? What's the next round?
Okay, at this point, the top 10 students from the math counts in the St. Thomas St. John district traveled to St. Croix on March 30th for the state math counts competition. Out of that competition, 4 students will be chosen to represent the Virgin Islands in the National Math Counts competition, which will be held in Washington, D.C. on May 7th through 10th. So this is just the first step. And so Viren, for instance, will be going to St. Croix, and hopefully he might end up being part of the team. And like you said, this is his last year because Math Counts is from 6th through 8th grade. So if he gets through this year, then this will be his.
So you're not done yet.
You
have more preparing to do. And how do you juggle that then? With your schoolwork and then extra studying, and then I know you gotta watch TV.
Yeah.
So how do you do it all?
Well, I cut down on my TV. Even though I like it a lot, I cut down on it, and I make sure that I prepare earlier so I have more time every day to work on them.
Okay. And so then I'm gonna ask you students quickly, how did this competition help you prepare for something more than just the competition? What did you get out of it?
Out of this competition, I learned how to compete with other students, and it will prepare me for the future because in the future, I would like to be a pharmacist. And being a pharmacist, some of the skills that I would need would be math skills and science skills. I will also need to know how, as I speak to other people, I will need to know the words, how to speak, and the definitions of the word also, and what they mean.
Okay, and speaking of the spelling bee and all of that, what's next for our little busy bees?
Well, they're definitely not finished as well. They actually, both students in St. Croix and St. Thomas will compete in the territorial spelling bee, which is this year is held on St. Thomas on March the 16th, I believe at 9 o'clock at BCB Auditorium. And then from there, the champion will go to Washington, D.C., where they will compete in the Scripps National Spelling Bee in May.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're not finished.
They're not done either. So we got the calculators clicking, the bees buzzing, and we have a pharmacist in the house. But Vern, do you know what you want to be when you grow up?
Yeah, I want to be like a chef or a hotel receptionist, like own a hotel. And I think math would be really helpful for that because like when people pay you, you need to like have like good math skills to give like a good tip or something, or give good change and all back. Yeah.
So how much are the coaches and the administrators involved in helping the kids? How do you guys facilitate helping them?
I think our role is really a lot of the background stuff, finding location, making sure we take care of the logistics. But the coaches are the ones who really spend the time with the students, preparing them, going over the practices, teaching them the formulas, the techniques, the tricks. Those are the ones who really have the day-to-day responsibility of preparing the students for the competition.
Yeah, we definitely have to give them kudos and acknowledgements, because they stay after school with the students. They use their lunchtime and their prep time, whether it's going over the math formulas or teaching them the origins of words. Our teachers really do a lot.
It's
Other
a lot
than
extra.
teaching. Yes.
Right, that's right. So in our position, we're just the engine in the background that people don't see. Okay. They're the ones who
they're seeing
really,
you now.
right? But they're the ones who actually put in the work,
Yeah.
to get the students to where they are today.
Okay. And Brianna, who was your coach?
My coach was Miss Marita Gums.
Okay. And Vern, who was your coach?
Miss Sonia Swan.
And for math counts?
Miss Michelle Humphreys.
And
Yes, and remember, this young lady was also in
math
math counts
Oh,
as
yes,
well.
your
My-
math counts coach.
My coach was Miss Astrid Hippolyte for math counts.
And so how intense were these practice sessions? How often did you have to do them with your coaches?
Well, we used to do Thursday at lunch, and Saturday we used to have practices like from 10 to 2. But as competition got closer, we used to like have it more often, lunch like every day during the week, and on Saturday too from 10 to 2. And also we used to have practices after school just to get us ready for the competition. And we did stuff starting from sprint competitions all the way to countdown rounds just to get us ready for the next level.
And what about you? What was your process? What was your schedule with practice?
At BCB, we have classes. So we had a math counts class in which every day for 45 minutes we had class. We practiced from different books that was held before in the past. And we did different formulas, and our teachers gave us homework assignments to complete and bring back for the next day.
Okay, great. So you guys did extra upon extra. Your coaches did extra. The coordinators did. I mean, this was a big production just to get these competitions ready to go.
Yes, it is.
And so then I want to know, what made you interested in spelling and math, guys? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. So I like math a lot. It's my favorite subject, and I do really good in math, and it really helps a lot in life. Also, spelling bee, I really like spelling bee. They're both of my interests, like pastimes that I like to work on, and they really help a lot in life. They teach you a lot, and it just makes you go ahead of other people in life.
What about you, Brianna?
I had an interest in spelling bee as I was younger. I went into the spelling bee and I won in 3rd grade, and I continued. And right now I'm in 8th grade. For math, I started to get an interest when I went to middle school, and I really love math. I love getting the formulas, getting the questions correct, and that makes me have a passion more for math and spelling.
And were you nervous during the competition, like especially when they called your name for the lightning round, to go up and do the face-off with the buzzers? That's my favorite part, by the way. That's because they have buzzers.
Well, I was a little nervous because I was the last one to be called, and that's like the worst part because you're always like nervous.
Waiting for your name.
Yeah, you're like, am I going to get it or not? And then like when I went over there, I thought I was like last place, and they started going up calling my name. Like they didn't call my name yet, and they finally called my name at 4th, and I was really surprised because I thought I did really bad in the competition. But turns out that I was really lucky and I did really good.
Good. And what about you? What about during math counts? Were you nervous when you saw those 6-minute questions and you only had 6 minutes to answer? Was your pencil shaking a little bit?
I was quite nervous because sometimes when I look up at the clock, it was seconds, a few seconds. I was like, whoa, the time really passed fast. But I went through it and I did my best.
Now, I was there for both competitions, and like I said already, I'm not a good speller, but it's to see you guys at math counts. I mean, math, as you know, everyone will say, oh, I'm not good in math. Oh, it's not my favorite subject. But to see you guys do it, and one of my jobs was to pick up some of the scrap paper. You guys barely had any scrap paper. It was as if you guys were just doing it in your minds. And so I find that so fascinating, and I'm just so proud of you guys because you're representing for people like me who can't do it. So I'm really proud of you. Yeah.
I think for me, that was the best part of the competition for me. That to see students almost like NASCAR drivers waiting for me to say, please turn your papers over. And they were like, "Arr!" I mean, it's just like, you know, and for me to just see young people excited about something that I've loved all my life.
Yeah.
It really motivated me to know that, yes, we're doing the right things and that we need to make sure that we could grow the program so that much more students would have the same opportunity.
I was just going to ask you about recruitment. Is it hard to recruit students?
Well, what I did
what's
this
the process?
year, I actually invited students from some of the other schools to come and look at the competition so that they could become inspired. And hopefully when they see that there are students just like them who are able to do some of the same things that they might have thought was difficult, that would inspire them. So hopefully next year, instead of having only 4 schools participate, we could at least double the number of students. And each year after that, try to grow it to the point where every school that has at least a 6th grade in there would be a part of the Macaroons competition.
What about for spelling bee? Is it hard to recruit? What's the process?
It's not necessarily hard to recruit. Sometimes it is a little difficult with, all of the schools, because with spelling bee, schools, public, private, and parochial are definitely invited. I know Brianna mentioned that she was interested since she was in 3rd grade. So one of the things that we started doing, and it has been done in the past, is holding the primary spelling bee to get those children in 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade interested in participating in the intermediate spelling bee. So, just to put a little plug in there, the primary spelling bee will be held this year on April the 7th at BCB Auditorium. So we had 18 schools participate in the intermediate spelling bee this year. We have 21 participating in the primary spelling bee. So the interest is definitely, becoming one that the students are having more and more every year, so that way they can compete in competitions like this. Because with both competitions, after 8th grade, now they start worrying about, the other things like, sports or even moot court that the students are participating in. Spelling is no longer it is important, but then we turn more into comprehension for the students.
Because they laid the groundwork and the foundation.
We definitely did. So, these students are definitely at the end of their mark, being in 8th grade. However, they definitely have little children looking up at them and will participate, in the future.
Well, one of the things that we're trying to do, though, is find a competition for high school students. Because both the teachers and students are now asking, so what next? They don't want it to end at 8th grade. So even though we right now don't have a high school competition, one of the coaches said, even if as a group we come up with and start our own competition, in the near future we will have a high school competition.
So there's an actual not just need, but want for it.
Want for it, yes.
Even in terms of the students wanting to compete.
The students want to compete, yes.
But that's great. That goes perfect with our whole empowering the child, educating the child. The fact that they want to take that initiative to then have the schedules that Brianna and Varin said they had. I mean, those are some tough schedules to go through, and the process is long, and you have to be studious. So to find out that they want to take that initiative and that mission on is just wonderful. And so then for the spelling bee, you said you do the comprehension and everything. Spelling is done. There's no interest or want at the high school level then?
Well, I'm sure there is. I know in the past there definitely was a literacy fair or a fine arts showcase, and I think that's coming back into the works as well. So there's always an interest. Our students love academics, even though, sometimes we focus more on sports or even pageantry. Our students are very interested in learning and, getting that wealth of knowledge. So there's always an interest. So whether they're involved in math counts or the spelling bee or geography bee or the science bowl or the STEM fair, our students love showcasing their talents and knowing that they're the new lawyers or the new engineers that are, coming about.
And so, Varin, how does that make you feel that you're a role model for these younger students coming up and wanting to be in these competitions?
It makes me feel good because they get to learn like what they want to do, and they like to see it, and sometimes they get interested in it and they start to want to achieve their goal and go all the way for it, and it makes them want to learn more because it's a challenge, and they just become more curious about it, which makes them want to achieve more.
What about you, Brianna? You're now a role model. I mean, you're out there, your name is out there. Kids are looking up to you. How's that feel?
It makes me feel happy that I am a person that people or children look at me as, and that they will be able to grow and have a passion for the things that I did.
Good. And so then I want to ask if you can give me a quick what are the subject matters that are the specifics of mathematics that are in the actual math counts? There's geometry.
It's mostly algebra and geometry.
Algebra and
Most of it is,
geometry.
that's it.
Okay.
You know, but that doesn't mean that the questions are just straightforward. As a matter of fact, there were some questions that I got wrong.
Yeah.
Initially, and in the short space of time, and then as soon as I saw what the answer was, like, oh, I realized that if you're not careful, there are little mistakes that you could make, even those of us who know math.
Yeah.
So it was really, inspiring for me, like to see, sixth graders doing some what I would consider advanced math at that level.
Oh, it was advanced for me, so I say it's advanced.
but it's good to, so that people know though that just about anyone can do it. It's not going to be, and to see a room there were 31 students, and I'm sure in St. Croix there were more than that. So that is not just a matter of and they came from public school and private school, parochial schools, the same idea that no matter what your socioeconomic background, no matter what type of school you go to, you could still have that ability to do mathematics, something that people think is difficult.
And so you have all of these great achievements, you have all of these great students, and then I just want to also mention a great congratulations to Kayang's. Yeah, to Kayang's coach, who is Jamila Thurland. I mean, she just did an amazing job. And so, well, congratulations to all of our spelling bees, our math counts participants, and coaches across the territory. Special congratulations to the Good Hope Country Day team who won math counts on St. Croix. And unfortunately, that's all the time we have, and our hall pass has expired. So I just want to thank all our guests for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Hall Pass. I'm Jeray Ford.